Welcome back to another episode of The Basement. I'm your host, Wyatt. China has reached a major goal in ending absolute poverty in their country, but the Communist Party isn't ready to celebrate yet. And if that's true, I think the Communist Party might need to change their name. And people around the world are beginning to ask whether the classical music composer Chopin was actually gay. And that must really suck for Chopin. I mean, imagine if he was, and he was hiding this entire secret his entire life, and then he died, and then 171 years later, someone was just asking like one too many questions and said, maybe Chopin was actually gay. And then he's outed in front of the entire world after he died. That must be terrible. An article this week read that how rich people can help prevent climate change. And gee, I wonder, how could rich people help prevent climate change? I mean, if it's not Jeff Bezos' entrepreneurial spirit, then I don't know. I can't think of 185 billion things that Jeff Bezos has that could help combat climate change. And the photographer went to Utah to help capture pictures of the famous monolith. But while he was there, he saw the monolith getting taken away by 4 people, bringing the phrase "leave no trace" a whole new meaning. Our movie review for this week is Ocean's 12, where Mr. Ocean is out of prison again. And then he proceeds to bring back the entire crew from Ocean's 11. And even though I only saw that movie 1 week ago, I barely recognized most of the people. The plot of Ocean's 12 is basically the man they robbed in Ocean's 11 is super mad at them and needs his money back or else he'll kill them. So they have to rob someone else to get the money back for the man in Ocean's 11. I would say about 45% of this movie, I had no idea what was going on. I mean, the entire thing just feels like Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, and George Clooney all decided to take a trip to Europe together with some of their friends, and then while they were there, they also made Ocean's 12. It was just a little side project. I mean, in this movie, they even contemplate whether it's okay to rob a handicapped man. And they think about it for a lot. It's like a whole scene dedicated to this. And eventually they come to the conclusion that it's A-okay. And then they rob a handicapped man. My favorite part of this movie, though, is that when the characters realize Julia Roberts' character, Tess, looks a lot like the actress Julia Roberts. So Julia Roberts' character, Tess, has to play Julia Roberts. So you have Julia Roberts playing somebody that's playing Julia Roberts. Did you see how confusing that was? That's about how it feels to watch Ocean's 12. This episode of The Basement was brought to you by Subtitles. Have you suddenly realized that you haven't read a book in 5 years? Then you should try Subtitles. With Subtitles, all you have to do is mute your TV and turn on the subtitles, and then all of a sudden, it's just like you're reading a book, except it's not really making you think a whole lot. And it's not using practically any brain power, but hey, if you haven't read a book in a long time and you don't want to read a book again, then reading subtitles is basically the same thing. Try Subtitles today. Thanks for watching another episode of The Basement. I'm your host, Wyatt Mency, and don't forget to let me know what movie you want me to review down in the comments. I'll see you next time.